Day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion, and we are in Muscle Shoals, Alabama today. And as you can see underneath their welcome sign, it's the home of Fame Recording Studios. Some of the most amazing songs of all time have been recorded there. People from Aretha Franklin to Wilson Pickett to the Allman Brothers Band have recorded there. This should be fun. Daze with Jordan the Lion. We're going to Fame today. Begins now. Well, my friends, here we are. Now, Fame. What a great name, right? Well, it actually is an acronym. It was Florence, Alabama Music Enterprises. And a man named Rick Hall was involved with that company. It actually started on the second floor of a drugstore. When the company split, Rick got the publishing part of it, went off, recorded a couple of songs, kind of independently, made some money, and started this studio. Now, it wasn't originally this big. He, over time, just started adding rooms and walls onto it, recorded some of the most memorable musical hits of all time. It opened in 1962. He had an incredible, absolutely incredible backup band that was here for sessions, and they ended up in 1969 becoming so successful that they went off and started their own studio here in town. But people would come from all over. Atlantic Records at one point would do all of their recordings here, so people like Etta James, Clarence Carter. They say that, in fact, the Allman Brothers Band was formed inside of here, and that Duane Allman came here before he was anybody, asked for a job being a studio musician here. Rick said, "I don't have anything for you," and Duane said, "Okay, that's fine. I'll just set up my tent in your parking lot until you find something for me." And that's exactly what he did. He set up a tent in this parking lot, and eventually one day they needed someone, and he came in and started recording there. Aretha Franklin recorded here. I mean, the names here are legendary. Now, unfortunately, they don't allow any filming of the tour, so I'm gonna take the tour, do photos, and then narrate those photos with you from some of the anecdotes they tell inside. So let's go. And it's still a fully functioning studio today, and I believe it's now 3 generations in. Rick Hall no longer is alive, but his son Rodney is involved with the business. His wife is still involved in the business, working the front desk, I believe, and his grandson, I heard, is the one that does the tours here. All right, that's us. All right, now as we enter, this is one of the coolest recording studios of soul music there is in the world. This is as soon as you walk in the front entrance, that used to be an old office in there. And there you see Steven Tyler from Aerosmith standing in the doorway we're about to go into. Through these doors walk the finest musicians, songwriters, artists, and producers in the world. And into the original entryway to the left is Studio A, the big studio. As you can see right there. A lot of great songs recorded in there, letting you know if they were recording live or not. And this is the kind of the waiting room outside the studios. There was a memorabilia case with some of Rick Hall's mementos, including the stamper for Fame Recording Studio, and the clock-in machine for employees back in the day. And here is Studio B, the original studio. When Rick Hall got started, he got his start doing a song called Steal Away, and that was a big hit for him. This is the original studio that's looking into the console area where the producer would have been, and all the fabulous instruments, and that song would have been recorded in here. See the piano over there? Up on the wall you'll see a picture of Duane Allman, and they told you a story about how Duane met J-Mo and Butch Trucks that would later be in the Allman Brothers Band here while recording sessions. That's right, where it all started. The original backing band was David Briggs and Norbert Putnam, who would later work with Elvis, but they ended up going off to Nashville, becoming big producers. And he got a local band that would become known as the Swampers, that would be that classic Fame sound. And you can see the kind of the bevels on the walls to help the sound recording. This is a fantastic studio. This is the smaller of the two studios. Greg Allman's recorded here, Percy Sledge, Wilson Pickett. And that's actually how really everything took off. Was he started recording Arthur Alexander, and then the Beatles covered Arthur Alexander, and the Rolling Stones covered Arthur Alexander. And then he started working with Percy Sledge, and they did When a Man Loves a Woman, and that became a huge hit. And he called Jerry Wexler of Atlantic Recording at the time, which was a huge, huge record label. Played him the song, he liked it, and Jerry Wexler started bringing artists down here to record. There's the sound booth over there. So cool to see the whole inside of this studio. If you have the chance, you really should go tour it yourself. Absolutely. Some road cases. And these Studio A and B are both functioning studios. They still record things here. So anyway, Jerry Wexler loved the sound so much that he brought Wilson Pickett here. Now, we're going into Studio B's control room. That's where Rick Hall would make a lot of his magic. And they said that the soundboard they have in there now was Stevie Ray Vaughan's favorite soundboard. He recorded 3 albums on that console. And that one over there, you'll see it was made especially for Rick Hall in this studio. So cool just to be here. So many classic songs. Land of a Thousand Dances was recorded here. This is taking us into Studio A, the big studio. And so when Atlantic Records ended up signing Aretha Franklin, she wasn't having any success at Columbia. They brought her here to this studio, and she recorded I Never Loved a Man. There she is up there on the wall, and that song became a hit for her, turned her career around. But her husband ended up getting into a fight with one of the horn players, and Aretha and he stormed out. Rick Hall went to the hotel to try and make amends, and got into a fight with her husband, and Aretha and her husband took off on a plane the next morning, and Jerry Wexler told Rick Hall, I'm never going to record with you ever again now. And so he went to Chess Records and started recording Etta James here in this very studio as well. So cool to see inside all these studio little rooms, the little booths. That one, there's a vocal mic in there for recording vocals. And here's another look inside the room. That organ right in front of us was very special because Greg Allman recorded his last album in this very room. And I thought that was just so cool to hear. The guy who was giving us the tour said he actually got to attend some of the sessions, and they all knew it was going to be Greg's last album, including Greg, so I got to touch the keys. They were okay with you actually touching things in there, which was great. So just to think of how many classic songs have been recorded with that Muscle Shoals sound in this room. It's unbelievable. Now, over the years, they've had 5 different incarnations of backing bands, but the sound is still there, and like I said, they still record here. Anybody can book a session there. They actually only do tours on particular days and times because it's a functioning studio. Look at that. They played us Steven Tyler doing Brown Sugar that he recorded in this studio. They kind of played that for us while we were in here. Yep, and he was the creator of the Muscle Shoals sound. Then eventually the Swampers, who were his first real backing group for this, they went off and formed their own studio in town. And there's some headphones that were there for other sessions. And how he mics the inside of the piano. And then look at the ceiling. It's kind of interesting. There were none of the walls were straight. They all have angles on them to deflect sound. And then I noticed this off to the side of the Wurlitzer. That's the same Wurlitzer at the beginning of Aretha Franklin's hit song. And then that's from inside the vocal booth. I love seeing the Fame signs and stickers everywhere. That's in one of the little guitar booths. So cool. Do it if you have a chance. Now I kind of want to take a little walk around the building and just show you how they added on, because this side over here would have been Studio A. That's where all the main hits and everything were recorded. and then they just kept adding sections onto it to make it bigger. I'm wondering if as we walk around it we can see the different layers of how it was all put together. And people, like I said, people still record here to this day. Alicia Keys, Steven Tyler, the Raconteurs, all kinds of people. They did a pretty good job of kind of covering it up. You can't really tell where things have been added on, but pretty cool. Well, my friends, we're gonna call it a day. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. We'll see you all next time. Have a great night and goodbye.